To solve these next examples, we need to, again, make sure that we are labeling this, well, first of all, solving for the third side, and then we want to label the sides relative to the angles. Okay, so I'm going to first of all solve for the third side here. So I know that with Pythagoras, this side squared, this square area here, and this square area here add up to this square area here. Okay, so I want to take this area and subtract this area. So I'm going to call this side B. So B squared is equal to the long side squared minus the short side squared. So I get 4 minus 1. So B squared is equal to 3. So B is equal to plus minus square root 3. So we only need the square root 3. So this side is going to be length square root 3. So I'll call that square root 3. Okay, so now I have sides to compare. I will use, in this case, doesn't really matter, but I'm going to make everything relative to angle B. Okay, so that way I'm consistent. I'm just going to talk about angle B for this problem. So I'm going to do a side here. I want to solve for, well, I've been given this side here, and I want to solve for these two sides of this triangle. So I'm going to start with the opposite side to angle B and adjacent side to angle B. So I'm going to write it this way. So opposite, oops, I should do that maybe in the right color, so we can keep track of it a little bit easier. So opposite angle B, and that's going to be side 5. Well, I'm going to use actually this smaller triangle, so I'm going to use a small triangle, square root 3, and I'm going to use adjacent angle B. I notice I'm getting a little bit lazier. I just don't want to write out the whole words anymore, and we're going to try to be a little bit more efficient with how we describe these sides and angles. Okay, so there's my comparison, and then I'm going to solve for, I'll call this side X. Okay, so I want to find side X, so I need to do the same comparison in this triangle. So I'm going to do opposite B to adjacent B. Well, here's adjacent B, that's X, and the opposite to B is going to be 5. Okay, so now I've set up my proportion. I only have one variable in this proportion, so I'm going to solve this proportion for X. And like in the previous examples, I'm just going to use some algebra because these are not nice numbers to find proportions with. So I'm just going to do cross multiply. Root 3 times X equals 5 times 1. So solving for X, it's 5 divided by square root 3. Okay, so there's my answer. And again, I want to encourage you guys to use these exact value answers. Yeah, but some of you are really comfortable with decimals, so I will work out the decimal value for you as well. But again, we want to get used to using these answers. So 5 divided by square root 3 is going to be equal to approximately 2.8. We'll round that to 89. Okay, so this is approximately equal to 2.89. That seems about right. This is about 1.4 to 1. It's a little bit, not quite twice as big. Okay, so that looks about right. Okay, so then I need to go ahead and solve for, and then call that side. Let's call that side Y. Okay, so then I need to set up another ratio to solve for side Y. So I'm going to use the opposite and hypotenuse. Opposite angle B to hypotenuse. Okay, so I'm going to first of all write down my ratio. Opposite angle B, and then we're going to do that to hypotenuse. Okay, so the opposite to angle B. I'm going to use this triangle because this is a known triangle, although it doesn't really matter. So root 3 compared to 2. Okay, so that comparison I need to make in this triangle. So it's going to be 5 to Y. So Y goes on the bottom, 5 goes in the top. Okay, so I have the right direction, 5 to Y, root 3 to 2. That's my proportion. I'm going to solve this algebraically for Y. So I get root 3y equals 10, y equals 10 over square root 3. Okay, and again, if I work that out, that's approximately, when I work that number out, it's approximately 5.77. Okay, so this is approximately 5.77. That seems about right. All the side, this is going to be, a little bit longer than this side. This side's going to be a little bit longer than this side here. So this is about 1.73 to 2, 5 to 5. Yeah, that's about right. Okay, it's kind of hard to tell, but it's about right. Okay, so then I'm going to do the same thing here. In this case, I'm going to use the exact same ratio because I've got the hypotenuse. This time I want to solve for side. Let's call that side. I don't know, what are we going to call that? Side B here. We'll call that B in this case. So we're going to do opposite. Okay, so opposite angle B compared to hypotenuse. Okay, that's going to be 100. And opposite of B is going to be B. Okay, and then in the known triangle, it's going to be opposite to B, and hypotenuse is 2. Okay, then solving this algebraically, B is equal to square root 3 times 100 divided by 2. Okay, so that's going to work out to be square root 3 times 100 divided by 2 is about 86.6. Okay, so this is about 86.6. If that's 100, that's going to be 86.6.